question is in the background of two important news. One news is that Indian Railways, one is that we can say Ministry of Railways has set a target to transform Indian Railway right into Green Railway by 2030, right? So this is a statement for the preliminary examination also, right? By 2030. So Indian Railway has planned to do this, right? So one important news is this, and the second news is that in this month of June, you can say Tiruchi, right? Tiruchi railway junction. Tiruchi is in which state?
Tamil Nadu, sir, shayad.
Yes. It's in Tamil Nadu, right? Railway junction has been awarded. We can say, right? Has been awarded green railway station, right? Green railway station certification and right, and gold rating also, right, by the Confederation of Indian Industry. So you must remember that you can say this green certification is given by the Confederation of Indian Industry, CII, right? Confederation, right? And then we can say it has been developed by the Environment Directorate of Indian Railway, and we can say Indian Green Building Council. This has been done by those Indian Green Building Council, right? So this has been developed by those, right? So now the you can say question which we will discuss today in the background of these two important news, that what are the various measures, right? Right? We can say the government of India is going to take to transform the Indian Railway into green railways, right? What the measures are being taken by the you can say Indian Railways to transform Indian Railways into green railways, right? So strategy. What is the strategy adopted by the Indian Railway or Ministry of Railways, can also be written here, to transform Indian Railways into green railway, right? So what type of strategy has been adopted by this, right? So this is there, right? So in this question again, right, first of all, just 2 or 3 lines, right? First of all, in this question, you need to see that there one important point is the green railway, right? So then strategy to transform present Indian Railway into the Green Railway. What is the strategy adopted? So these are the two important things here which are required, right? So if we make the, you can say, a rough sketch or draft that what needs to be mentioned here, right? So rough sketch or draft, you can say strategy to make Indian Railway Green Railway, or write simple strategy, right? Because above the question is written. So strategy, right? This is the your question. We need to draft the answer now, right? So first of all, as we usually take, right, to enter into the main, you can say, body of the answer, right, means introductory part, right, which is required to link the question with the body part, right, so that the reader should feel comfortable from the introductory part only, right? So it should not be very much confusing, you can say, right? And the second important point in this, you can say, question is, right? So that is the strategy. This is the second important point, right? Strategy. And third important point is, you can say, third important point is, we can say that is the concluding point, right? So these are the three main parts. In this question, you need not to mention about the challenges, right, to convert it into Green Railway. If you want to mention those, you can write those in, you can say, concluding part, right? Your concluding part. So अगर आपको जरूरत हो तो आप उसको अपने कंक्लूडिंग पार्ट के अंदर मेंशन कर सकते हैं, राइट? सो अदरवाइज यू नीड नॉट टू give a separate, you can say, space for that. The question is about the strategy, right? But if we see in the question, there is one term, green railways, right? So beta, in your introductory part, first of all, you need to mention that what do we mean by green railway? Because until and unless, right, you know about the green railway, you won't be able to explain it, or you can say give a meaning of the green railway. You won't be able to explain it, or your answer won't be justified, right? So the reader won't be comfortable, right? And second, he will think that Indian Railway is the largest public sector undertaking of India, right? Public sector undertaking of India, right? Right, which deals directly with the Indian public, right? And has been supplied throughout the country. Right? So you can say thousands of trains, right? Thousands of trains, you can say, run on the tracks daily, right? And Indian Railway has a, you can say, has a, you can say, big contribution in total carbon emissions, right? By India, right? Total carbon emissions by India, right? So that is why the government of India has set a target to, right? That is why the government of India. So the government of India, आपने वहाँ GOI नहीं लिखना, government of India लिखना. So the government of India has set a target to, right? Yeah, we can say that seeing right? Uh, Green Railway, seeing Green Railway as an appropriate solution is the, of this, right? As an appropriate solution of this, right? The Indian Railway, the Ministry of Railway, right, has set a target to transform the Indian Railway into a green railway, right? Into a green railway by the year 2030, right? By the year 2030, the strategy adopted by the Indian Railway for this has been discussed below, right? Has been discussed below, right? Or has been given below, has been enumerated below, mentioned below, right? Has been given below. So this is the thing, right? So green railway, right? Uh, Now we need to, you can say, write at least one sentence for this also, right? So we would say that green railway, right? Green railway would be, would be, right? Green railway would be, you can say, uh, right? Green railway would be called when, right? Indian railway would be called green railway. Indian railway would be called green railway, when there will be zero, right? When there will be zero, or very, you can say, less carbon emission, right? Emission, and it would be made, environment friendly, right? It would be made environment friendly, right? So this is the, right? So we can say, in accordance, when the emission of the greenhouse gases or the carbon is in, we can say, accordance with the nature's capacity to, you can say, regenerate itself, right? To, you can say, uh, tackle it, right, without any external support. So then we will say that is the green railway, right, or the green undertaking, right? So beta, this is what you have to mention here in its, you can say, this part, which is known as this, you can say, introductory part, right? So introductory part will contain these two things, right? So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
जी सर.
okay. So beta, anybody can ask your doubts or your questions, right? Your views will also be welcomed. So Tania, we always believe in discussions, right, beta? If you have
Okay,
any,
sir.
yes. If you have any question, doubt in your mind, you can discuss at any time, right? Or if you have even some new point in your mind, you can also, you can say, bring that, right? So
Sir,
yes, beta.
so can we mention here like our target in Paris climate meet of 2015?
Our target in,
Like we want like less than 2 degrees Celsius, 2
yes,
degree
yes, yes, yes,
by
yes, yes,
uh,
yes,
for
yes,
pre-industrial level
yes, yes.
and reach 1.5 degree
Yes, beta.
in
Yes, beta.
introductory.
INDC के according आप लिख सकते
हाँ
हैं,
जी
ठीक
सर.
है? Right,
हाँ जी.
right. You can mention one sentence there, right? If the, you can say, word limit permits you, right? If that is.
Okay,
So the
sir.
next point is a strategy, right? Strategy, right? So now we will focus on the strategy here, right? So as far as the strategy is concerned, right? In strategy, one of the important points which is there, right? One is the railway electrification, right? So these are the various points One is the railway electrification, right? This is the one point, right? You need not to give, you can say, much, you can say, stress on this, right? You can read only, you can say, write only that, right? So diesel locomotives, right? Diesel locomotives are not good for environment, right? Are not good for environment, right? As they produce, as they emit, right? More, a higher amount of, as they emit the higher amount of GHGs, greenhouse gases, right? So this is the one point which you can mention, right? So that is why the Indian Railway is working on the electrification of railways, right? So this is the first point which you can write here, right? And the second part of the strategy we can say here is that that is the improving energy efficiency, right? Improvement in energy efficiency. So this is part of the strategy data. I am nothing, you can say, writing from my end, right? Improvement in energy efficiency, right? Energy efficiency. So as far as improvement in, you can say, energy efficiency is concerned, there are two important points will be there, right? So improvement in energy efficiency. Number one, locomotives and trains with the development of technology, right? Locomotives and trains with the development of technology. This is the one point, right? And the second is, you can say, improvement of energy in the fixed installations also, right? Fixed installations like platforms, buildings, etc., right? In the fixed installations also. So this is the second point which we can write here, right? So energy efficiency, that is the next important point with regard to this, right? And we can say the third point is third point, which is part of the strategy, that is, we can say, green certification for installations or stations, right? So that it should meet the environmental standards, right? Green certification for installations and stations, which we have just, you can say, mentioned or talked about this, right? So here you can put one or two examples like this, Ruchi, and some other, you can say, platforms and stations have been given the green certification, right? Who gives the green certification? This is in India, right? And you can say a separate environment directorate has been established in the Indian Railways, right? That can also be mentioned there, right? So the next point which you can mention here, right? Actually, today's question is quite common question. The technicalities are less. Then fitness of bio toilets in coaches, right? Fitness of bio toilets in coaches, right? So fitness of bio toilets in coaches, right? So beta, as far as the fitness of bio toilets in coaches are concerned, so first thing is this was introduced in the Indian Railway in 2011, right? So this was introduced in the Indian Railway in 2011, we can say, right? So that is there. And the second important point here is that we can say, right? The second important point, that first train fitted with the bio toilets was first train fitted with the bio toilets was, you can say, Varanasi, Bundelkhand, right? Bundelkhand Express. Varanasi Bundelkhand Express. That was the first train which was fitted with the bio toilets in India, right? In January 2011, right? In January 2011. right? And one more important point is here that you can say uh, biotoilet system is there that right is separate. You can say uh, biotoilet system is, we can say, attached, right? Separate biotoilet system is, we can say, attached there, right? Attached in the railways, in the railways, right? In the rail, in the coaches, we can say, right? Right, coaches, right? So the fecal matter, right, passes into that, right, into that, right, where it is digested by, where it is digested by a bacteria, right? Digested by bacteria, digested by bacteria, right? Which is called psychrophile. Psychrophile is the name of the bacteria, right? Psychrophile, psychrophile, right? It is the bacteria, right? And after digestion, right? After digestion, right?
Sir,
There,
water and gas is released.
yes, there remains, you can say, gas and water, right? Gas and water, right? So, beta, as far as the gas is concerned, right? Two types of gases are released. One is the methane, right? Methane, right? And the second is the, you can say, carbon dioxide, right? So two types of gases are released, right? And these bitter two gases are released into the, we can say, atmosphere, right? These two gases are released into the atmosphere, and the water is released on the track, right? Water is released on the track, we can say, right? And water is released on the track. So this is the, right? Water is released on track, right? So this is basically the mechanism of this, right? And beta, one more thing, we can say this bacteria is developed by, right? This bacteria is developed by DRDO and engineers of Indian Railways, right? Engineers of Indian Railways. So this bacteria was developed by those, right? So that is there, right? So the bacteria used in the biotoilets was, you can say, collected and analyzed by DRDO, right? The bacteria was collected and analyzed by the DRDO, by DRDO from Antarctica, right? From Antarctica, and it was developed later on, right? Developed later on. And the important characteristic of this bacteria is that it can withstand the extreme climatic conditions, right? The important characteristic of this bacteria is that it can withstand the extreme climatic conditions, right? Even up to 50 degrees Celsius temperature, if it is there, even then the bacteria can survive, right? And very cold, you can say, weather, uh, it can also withstand in that, you can say, right? So better, this is there, right? So biotoilets, this is about it, right? So the government has set a target that, you can say, by the year 21-22, right? All the you can say railway coaches will be fitted with the biotoilets, right? By the year 2021 and 22, perhaps all the railway coaches will be fitted with the biotoilets there, right? And the next part of the, you can say, strategy is, the next part of the strategy that is there The next part of the strategy is, we can say, that is the switching to renewable sources of energy. Switching to renewable sources of energy. Right, sources of energy. Switching to renewable sources of energy. So that is important, right? And all routes, we can say all routes, right? All routes on a broad gauge network. All routes on broad gauge network, right? All routes on broad gauge network, right? On broad gauge network are planned to be electrified, right? Electrified by 2023. This is our planning, that all routes on the broad gauge network will be electrified by the Indian Railways by 2023, right? And the next part of the strategy, that is, you can say, initiatives by Indian Railways, initiatives by Indian Railways to promote solar energy, right? To promote solar energy, initiatives to promote solar energy, right? So as far as the initiatives to promote solar energy are concerned, there are two points, right? So one point is there, we can say, rooftop solar panels on buildings. One is there, rooftop solar panels on buildings. So one is this, on buildings.
Sir, our target is 100 gigabyte by 2030.
Yes,
100 megawatt
yes.
from
So
solar energy.
yes, good, very good. And the second point is that land-based solar installations, we can say land-based solar installations, right? Solar installations for running trains, right? For running trains, that is there, right? So this is there. So now the next is that land-based, we can say, solar installations, right, will be taken up by land-based solar installations will be taken up by installations will be taken up by there are two, you can say, organizations, right? So one is, we can say there, that is the Indian Railways, right? Indian Railways, right? So one is this, and the second is, we can say, Rights Limited, RITES, Rights Limited. Okay? So these will work in the joint venture, right? 49.51% Rights Limited, right? So beta, this Indian Railway will be having 49% share in that, right? Indian Railway will be having 49% share in that, right? 49%, and 51% share will go to the Rights Limited, right? Rights Limited. So by Rights Limited, right, we mean that you can say Rail India Technical and, we can say, Economic Survey. Rights means Rail India Technical and Economic Survey. Rights stands for this, Rail India Technical and Economic Survey. So that is what the right stands for, technical and economic survey. Okay, so that will be there, right? So one such project, next is one such project, of, right, 1.7 megawatt, right? 1.7 megawatt has been, right, you can say, installed at Bina in Madhya Pradesh, right? Madhya Pradesh, in collaboration with the, we can say, BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, right? BHEL, and this project is the first of its kind, right? The first of its kind solar project, first of its kind solar project, right, in the world, right? So this will help this will provide electricity to the running trains, we can say, right? So this is the first such project in itself, right? So this is the point. So the next point is that you can see, have you noted it down? Can I erase it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next point is that is the wind energy, right? So wind energy also important, right? So wind energy. As far as the wind energy is concerned, 103 megawatt, right? The wind energy, 103 megawatt wind energy based power plant, right, has been, you can say, commissioned. Power plants have been commissioned, we can say, right, have been commissioned. And this is there, right, have been commissioned. So these have been commissioned at different places, right, at 3 different places, you can say. One place is that is there, Rajasthan, Jaisalmer, we can say, Jaisalmer in Rajasthan. One is there, right, and second one is there, you can say, at Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu. Second one has been commissioned there, right, and third one that has been commissioned at Sangli in Maharashtra, right? So this is about the wind. This, you can say, energy, and the government or Ministry of Railway, we can say, government is to set up 200 megawatt, right? 200 megawatt wind energy plants, right? Wind energy plants in next 2 years, in the states of, right, in the states of Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Karnataka, right? Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Karnataka, right? Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Karnataka, right? And next we can say that other initiatives related to this, right? So other initiatives related to this, other initiatives, right? So as far as the other initiatives is concerned, one is, we can say, one is 100% LED, you can say, illumination of right, buildings and stations, So one is this, the next initiative which the government is taking, and next initiative is a green certification program, right? Green certification program. Green certification of what, you can say? Green certification of, we can say, one is the production units of the railway, right? And the second point, we can say, that is the workshops of the railway, right? And third is, we can say, you can say, third is the there is the locomotive sheds, okay, or diesel sheds, we can say, right? And the fourth is, we can say, that is the, we can say, stores depot, right? Stores depots. So that is there, right? So far you can say, we can say 7 production units, 39 workshops, 6 diesel sheds and 1 store depot has been given the green certification also, right? And 14 railway stations and 21 other buildings have been given the green certification. Also apart from this, right? So we can write here that railway stations also green certification of railway stations, right? And next is that green certification of the other buildings of the railways also. So other buildings of the railways also. So this is the initiatives which have been taken. And next point is that we can say head-on generation of electricity.
Excuse me,
And
sir.
yes,
Sir, please tell the numbers again.
numbers are not important for
Okay,
you,
okay, sir. Okay,
right?
sir.
Oh yes, why to collect those numbers,
Okay, sir.
right? Head-on generation of electricity, right? So as far as the head-on generation of electricity is concerned, 505 pairs, we can say, of trains are, right? 505 pairs of trains are, right? Trains are, you can say, converted to head-on generation of electricity, right? Of electricity, leading to, right? Leading to, we can say, saving of approximately, right, 70 million, 70 million, right, liters of diesel, right, liters of diesel, which is costing rupees 450 crore per annum, right? So this is also an achievement of the railway, right, per annum. And the next point is that we can say energy efficiency, right? Energy efficiency, energy efficiency studies of energy efficiency studies of, we can say, all production units, uh, workshops, workshops, we can say, right? Uh, have resulted into 15% improvement in energy efficiency. 15% improvement in energy efficiency, right? In, we can say, energy efficiency, right? So beta, this is the overall strategy of the Indian Railways, and these are the various steps which the government has taken and is taking, right? So beta, as far as the conclusion is concerned, we can say, right? So beta, seeing the seeing the deteriorating health of the environment, right? Seeing the deteriorating health of the environment, deteriorating health of the environment, right? Health of the environment, and India's global commitments, right? India's global commitments of reducing the, right? Reducing the GHG emissions or carbon emissions, you can write, right? GHG emissions. Now this is a healthy step by the Indian Railways, right? This is a healthy step by the Indian Railways, right? But for its success, the cooperation of common citizens are required. Common citizens are required, is required, right? Is required, right? So in parallel to this, an education and awareness campaign, and education and, you can say, awareness drive, you can say, right, should be launched, should be launched, right? At least at least at platforms and waiting rooms, right? Platforms and waiting rooms where the passengers, right? Where the passengers gather to commute trains, right? Passengers gather to commute trains, right? And the most important challenge or the thing before us is, right? The most important challenge as the thing before us is to, before, most important thing is challenge before us is to, right? Um, the challenge and the important point, the important, uh, you can say for the ministry is to, important for the ministry is to, is to keep this momentum on, right? Keep this momentum on, right? Usually, as we have seen, previously that the capital expenditures are done, that the capital expenditures are made by the government, or in public sector we apply सकते हो, right? But 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 the allocation for their maintenance, right, remains lacking always, in our country, right? So this is a good initiative, and involves huge, right? Capex means capital expenditure also, and hope, right? This will, right, transform Indian Railway, right, into the modern railway of 21st century, right, Peter? So you can make it end by this point also, or anything else if you find better, you can write that. So, right, so that is up to you. Right, so that is up to you. Yes, Nishant, you want to ask something?
Sir, to what extent do you think that the targets set by the government are realistic? मतलब sir unmaterialistic और unrealistic target set कर देती है sir government, फिर उसके बाद sir कुछ होता ही नहीं है.
But that is the common problem in the public administration here, right? So that is the common problem. But you should not touch that aspect, because you would not be having, you can say, much material to prove that whether this target is realistic or not, right? Hello.
Sure, sir, I got it. Sir, but yes, these things are, sir, sometimes, sir, seems to be just to please the international treaties and all those things.
That is there to please the public also, right? To, you can say, because the public counts the capital expenditure done by the government, right? In the, you can say, during the, we can say, elections, right? So public,
yes, of course,
doesn't, right, you can say, bother about the money spent on the maintenance of the buildings, or you can say roads or other things, right? So better, that is why the, we can say, entire focus of the government remains on you can say construction and launching of the new projects only, right? So that is also a number of issues are there, right?
yes,
so,
I got it. So in addition to this, if we talk about the Indian Railways, sir, कहीं ना कहीं हम सर बात कर रहे हैं कि we have to go to the green railways. सर उससे पहले सर हमें देखना चाहिए सर रेलवेज की पहले इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हालत ही कितनी खराब है.
Yes, beta. That is there. Capacity of the government also, right? All these,
yeah, sir, it's also a constraint.
Yes, right. Yes, beta. All these things matter, right? Because we are having the, you can say, FRBM compulsions also to, you can say, narrow down the fiscal deficit also, So many things are there, right? But still, as the government, because we are going to convert the Indian Railway into the green railway, so for that purpose, right, government can get support from the Green Climate Fund as well, right?
I agreed, sir.
Yes, government can get the support from that also, and you know that that you can say India is the largest recipient of support from the Green Climate Fund as on today. Okay, right?
Cool, sir,
Yes,
got
sir.
it.
So anything else, Tanya? Do you want to say something?
Sir, no, sir.
Okay, okay. So this is how we tackle the things.
Okay, sir.
Kamal, today you got very much late.
यस सर इधर कोई आया सीगा
Okay, okay,
ਤਾਂ
okay,
ਕਰਕੇ
okay, okay, no issue. Right. So Imran Rasool is also late today. Was also late today, right? The next we will start our, you can say,